What's up, vinyl community? This is Drop the Needle Records, and this week I'm coming at you with a vinyl community thread of albums I loved at the age of 12 or 13. So MGK Boston started a thread of showing 5 records from when you were a 12 or 13-year-old, so starting your teenage years. I'll leave a link down in his channel down below. Love him. He's a cool guy. Kind of has some of the same tastes that I do. He has his little drinking thing he does on Fridays and Saturdays. Always kind of cool. So if you would, please check his channel out. But before I get started, if you would, please like, comment, and subscribe down below. It helps me out as well to keep making these videos. So let's get right to it. So when I was 12 and 13, it was in 1988 and 1989. For me, my musical tastes were changing a little bit. I was getting introduced to some other music, and I was starting to branch out. So some of the albums that I really loved, I don't have on vinyl. I had on cassette and CD at the time, and I still have some of those on CDs, but I want to show the vinyls. So I'm going to show the vinyls that I have for each of these records. So the first record I want to show is Metallica and Justice for All. This came out in 1988. And I remember the moment that I first heard the song One. So I was staying over at a buddy's house. I would think I was spending the night, but at the time, a lot of music I was getting introduced to through MTV, and one of the shows they had on there was Headbangers Ball. And the song that they were playing was One. And I was like, wow. What is that song? I really loved it. The video is amazing, shows the guy with the bandage. I would think it's about the Vietnam War, about the being disabled and being a prisoner of war. Was really cool video. I enjoyed it. This got me started on Metallica. I mean, some other things that I got introduced to because of that video was Anthrax and Iron Maiden. I really got into them as well. So after this, I went back to Masters of Puppets, Ride the Lightning, and in the next several weeks, I'm going to be actually doing a video of Metallica albums in my collection. So that's the first album I wanted to show. Next up, if you follow me, I'm a huge Beastie Boys fan, and this album, Paul's Boutique, came out in 1989. I remember listening to License to Ill. It got me hooked onto rap music, and the next one that came out was Paul's Boutique. I got this on cassette. Even though this flopped commercially, I was hooked on it. I loved it. It got me introduced to some funk and some soul. The samples on here are just absolutely amazing. Maybe it was a little too early for its time, but now it's critically acclaimed. It's probably one of my favorite Beastie Boy albums in their whole discography. I love it from front to back. I could listen to it all the time. So this is number 3. I don't have the actual vinyl, so I'm going to show a greatest hits, but I was into Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses. That album really changed my life of getting introduced to some other rock music as well. Slash and Axl on that was amazing. This whole album, Appetite for Destruction, I could listen to all the time. Don't have it on vinyl because I'm kind of wanting the alternate OG cover. That's kind of like what I'm waiting on. But I had the tape, I had the CD, I had the singles, I had the shirts, I had the Guns N' Roses button, I had the Stonewashed jean jacket with the patch on it of this album. I remember having that as well in middle school. But, you know, on here you have Welcome to the Jungle, Paradise City, Sweet Child of Mine, Mr. Brownstone. I loved Appetite for Destruction. It's fantastic. So that's the third one on my list. Number 4, I also do not have the actual album on vinyl, but it was Full Moon Fever by Tom Petty. I got into Tom Petty when I was really, really young. But that when Full Moon Fever came out, I really got hooked on that album as well. He had Free Fallin', Won't Back Down, Running Down a Dream. I have it on CD, of course, but the album brought me back to Tom Petty, and after Full Moon Fever, I didn't leave him. Any album he had, I loved, but again, had to put Full Moon Fever on there. It was also, I remember being in 8th grade in 1988, and if you watch my Led Zeppelin video, that Led Zeppelin 4, my sister introduced me to Led Zeppelin, and I remember hearing Led Zeppelin for the first time, and I was blown away. It got me into that rock music as well. This must have been the age that I was ready for it, but again, you know, you have Black Dog, you have Rock and Roll, Battle of Evermore, Stairway to Heaven, Misty Mountain, Going to California, and When the Levee Breaks. When the Levee Breaks, I could listen to that song all the time. But again, I really got into Led Zeppelin and went down that rabbit hole. So that was my 5 albums. But I have a bonus as well. Rap song that came out was D-Light, Groove is in the Heart. I loved that song, that single. I remember the video. Little fun fact, I was actually looking at some reels on Instagram, and they actually sampled the theme to Green Acres in this song, for this song, which is kind of a cool fun fact. But I was really into Groove is in the Heart as well. Love it. Still love it to this day. And plus I get to show off a single. I don't have a lot of singles in my collection. I saw this and I had to pick it up because it just brought back so many memories. And the cover of this is just real funky. I love that as well. So that's my 5 albums plus the bonus. So if you, again, check out MGK Boston. But again, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to know what are your favorite albums of when you were 12 and 13. I know it kind of ages us a little bit, but I love doing these videos. Again, until we see each other again, vinyl community, peace.